And while it is, I'm just gonna, I lost my comb. There it is. I'm just gonna comb it through a little bit. Yay! Okay. Well, it's a little unfortunate that we were having technical difficulties, but it's all okay because this is just my first time doing it. You know, there's always a learning curve. Alright, I'm gonna go ahead and start hairspraying and teasing this wig. I'm gonna go in with sections and cover it in hair. That's the most fun part about styling wigs. It's like having a pet if you don't have pets, but they're fun colors. And with my straightener, I turned it on the lowest setting because, again, this wig is heat resistant but not fireproof. It doesn't have to be perfect. I'm just trying to get it a little less curly. Oh my god. Be careful with heat tools, people. Don't burn yourself. So this is, I want to say, my third, no, that's not right. My fourth or fifth wig that I've styled, maybe. I think so, because I styled my first Sailor Neptune wig, which was kind of difficult because it was a cheap wig I got off of Amazon because I liked the color of it. Maybe it was Wish. I don't know. It was a cheap wig that said it was heat resistant, and then when I tried to like curl the bangs and straighten them, it did absolutely nothing. So it wasn't the ideal wig to work with, but I think it turned out pretty okay. And then I styled, what else did I style? I'm like spacing on every cosplay I've ever done. But I definitely styled my Hoshina Utea wig, which I haven't taken pictures in that cosplay yet. I feel like I've styled more, but I honestly can't remember. But I'm still pretty new to this.
Chloe.
So who?
Chloe.
Oh god, we're not talking about Chloe. So my first cosplay ever was Chloe Price from Life is Strange. But it just wasn't for me, not my style, I don't think. So we choose to ignore her and we instead consider Princess Leia my first cosplay, which is not true, but she looks a lot better than Chloe. So, now I'm just going in and I'm back teasing this to give it volume so that it sits up a little more. I don't need it to be like too high, but I also don't want it to be like flat against my head. Probably not good enough. I changed my mind. I need to tease it more. And like I know for some people teasing things is really like scary because they're like, what if I tease it too much? But guess what? It's hair and you can brush it back out, so it's really not that big of a deal. I like that shape, but I need to cut it more. So I'm gonna take my scissors and I'm gonna cut in a downward motion just on the front pieces so that they're a little shorter and it's like, I don't know, like a tapered edge. I'm not a hairdresser, I don't know any of these terms. All I know is that I cut it and it makes it look better. With this piece, I think. Okay. I feel like, because I just recently styled my Starfire wig, and I honestly had a lot of fun doing it. But and it's by the same company. The Starfire wig I have is by Arda, but I feel like that wig was teasing a lot nicer than this one is. This one is not doing too hot, but that's okay. We'll make it work. brush do you use to tease? So I got this brush, and I don't know where I got it from. Probably like Target or something, but it's called Amped Up by Cricut. So it looks like this. It's just a small little thing. It has a nice little pointed edge. So like if you were a hairdresser, you could take sections, I guess. I literally never used it for that. I use my finger to take sections. So, you know, unprofessional professionalism. This wig stand is too wobbly for my teeth. Now that I'm looking at it, that's a lot of things. But you know what? It's okay. And again, I need to cut that. Yeah, especially if you're not doing blunt bangs, don't ever cut straight across. And even if you are doing blunt bangs, don't cut straight across, because that doesn't look good. And I would know because I've done it to myself and to wigs before. It's a travesty. Uh-oh. Just kidding. We're fine. There's no such thing as uh-ohs. You didn't hear that? Trying to think what other tips I have for wigs. Definitely just do research before buying your wig, because there's a lot of different types. So I know for me personally, I'm not the type of person that cares about having a lace front wig for most things. So I actually currently only own one lace front wig because I didn't realize it was lace front when I bought it. But all my other wigs are not lace front, and they work out just fine for me because they're just like normal wigs with their hair down. And even the wigs that I do have that are like in pigtails, I bought them off Arta, so they're like specifically for that, so I didn't have to do any work. Because I know lace fronts are really expensive and they're really, really nice, and I just don't really have a need for them right now. So I feel like there's no point in buying a nice lace front when a wig off of Amazon can do just as well. That's another thing too. Not all of my wigs are from Arta. Like, I love Arta so much. Like, their stuff is really nice quality. But if they don't have a wig that I want, or the wig that I do want is just a little too pricey for me, I can typically find the same thing on Amazon. And as long as you do your research and like look at picture reviews and read the description to see if it's like heat resistant, especially if you're wanting to use heat on it, you should be fine. And like, that's one thing about me that I feel like is a little weird, is when I buy things online, I only buy products if they have photo reviews. Like, a product could have 100,000 5-star written reviews, but if there's not a single picture of that product, I won't be buying it. Like, I don't know, that's just who I am. Like, I have to see the product to like believe it, I guess. I cut that piece a little too short, but oh well. We'll hide it. Alright, I'm gonna go ahead and try to just put it in the curl now. In all honesty, I might just sell this wig because I really like the other one I have. And this one is not doing so hot in my eyes. I don't know where's my hairspray? I see it. So sorry. Hold on. I came unprepared, but that's how I always come. We're gonna turn the straightener off. We don't need it. We probably should have done that a long time ago. Kids, if you're not using hot tools, turn them off and unplug them. Pro tip. Yeah. Okay. The ceramic, I have this little ceramic plate to sit down the hot tools on, and it is just not working very well for me, and I don't know why, but that's okay. It's like sliding around everywhere. Ah! I'm just trying not to drop it on my toes. Okay, so I plugged in my hairdryer because it's time for hairspray. I use Got to Be Glued. I always have and always will because this stuff is literally magical. It holds everything permanently forever. At least in my case. I haven't had to like redo any wig except for Spinel, but that was my own fault because I didn't do her right the first time. My dad just called me, but it's okay. We're gonna ignore him and hope he doesn't get mad that I ignored him. Tease and comb. So I'm just gonna tease this a little more because it wasn't poofy enough for me. And then I'm gonna take my hairspray and I'm gonna spray it as close to the roots as possible. And you don't want a lot, just like a little. And take the hair dryer and set it. You don't have to use a hair dryer to set it, but it just gets the job done faster. And then I'm going to take my fingers and kind of place the bangs where I want them to go. Yeah, I don't like how long that piece is though, so we're going to cut it real quick. Problem solved. Okay, so reshape it where you want it to go, and then take your hairspray and spray a little bit, and then use your fingers to smooth it out a little bit. And I just need a little more hairspray right now. And then once again, go in with your blow dryer and make it dry. Not the biggest fan of where that's sitting, but there's also like 4 more layers of hair to go, so I'm not super worried about it right now. This piece. I'm like debating if I want to make these shorter actually. I thought that they were short enough, but now I don't know. I'm unsure. I'm trying to base it off the guide I have over here. But it's mostly just looking like a hot mess. But that's how most of what I do looks before it finishes. Does that sentence make sense? I don't know. Maybe if I just cut that. And this is mostly how my wig styling goes, is me just second guessing everything I do. And then my too much gene comes into play, and I just keep cutting and keep cutting and hope that it works. Most of the times it does. Wow, that piece is definitely too short. But again, there's layers of hair that's going to go over it, so I'm not too concerned. I maybe want to actually curl that into, but we'll have to wait to do that. That looks okay. Let me see. What if you messed up with the Got to Be Glued since it's so strong? That is a great question. So I will talk specifically about my Spinel wig because it was the first time doing some major styling on a wig, and I thought it would be a great idea to use a whole entire can of Got to Be Glued on it. Like, not kidding you, one wig held 1 can of Got to Be Glued, and there's a lot. This is a large can. This has 12 ounces in it. So Just imagine that on one wig, because I thought that's how that was supposed to work. It's not. Don't do that. You don't need that much hairspray. And so I wore her to a convention. She looked great, but you know, from traveling to the convention, wearing her at the convention, and then traveling back home, she got very messed up, and I had to like, I don't even know how or why, but you know, her hair sticks straight up, so I thought it would just make sense to put like chopsticks in there. So I had one chopstick on each side, and then they were connected in the middle with like fish wire or something, like some invisible wire. And that's how I got it to stay up. But it was just, that's not the right method. That's not how you do things. Don't do things like that. Learn from my mistakes. So I had to take all of that out. And then her hair was so crunchy and so disgusting from the 12 ounces of hairspray that were in that wig. And so the first thing I did is I just brushed her out. It took quite a bit of time, but I brushed her with, where did it go? I brushed her with my regular brush, so this thing. And then after that, I brushed her with the small side of my comb just to help get any extra tangles out. And I'm not even kidding you, I was wearing black leggings, and the entire like crotch area of my leggings was covered in this like powdery film of pink, crusty hairspray. It was absolutely disgusting. And then the next step I did is I washed her. I filled up a sink and I put in some fabric softener and then some dish soap, and I let her sit in that for a little bit. And then I like just swished her around, did like light, very light scrubbing motions at the, what's it called? Like the base, the cap, I don't know, where skin top area, that area. And I did like light scrubbing motions to help get any extra hairspray that was like trapped in there out. And then I wrung her, patted her dry, and then let her hang on the wig head until she was fully dry. And that seemed to do the trick because her hair is back to brand new now, basically. And I just have to restyle her. But I haven't done that yet because I'm not wearing her anytime soon. And also, I still need to do some research on the best way to style her so I don't repeat my mistakes again. But yeah, it's not the end of the world if you mess up. You just wash it out with some dish soap. It'll be okay. Again, just don't use 12 ounces of got to be glued in one wig. That's a nightmare. Who let me do these things? I need an adult supervision at all times. Otherwise, I do stuff like that. Okay. So the top layer of my hair, I'm just going to brush a little bit because with all that back combing you did, you don't want it to be seen on top. So I'm just going to lightly brush over it so that it covers all of that teasing nicely. Then I'm going to go back in with my hairspray. I don't like what this piece is doing right here. It's bothering me. But I don't. And it's not even teased. That's just how it is. If there's ever a really stubborn piece of hair like that that is going in the opposite direction you want it to, just take a hairdryer and put it as close to the hair as you can without frying it, so that you can spray the fibers, not spray, so that you can blow dry the fibers in a different direction so that they will do what you want them to. That's better. Okay, so I'm going to plug my straightener back in because I decided that I want to curl the bottom of this hair just a little bit. So if I had more than one plug, I would have kept it plugged in the whole time. Yes, but one had my phone in it, so Or wait, there's not 3. Oh yeah, there is 3. I don't know how to count. Where's my straightener at? It's all tangled everywhere. Or maybe should I use a curling iron? Would that work better? I don't know. I use a straightener to curl my own hair, and I've used a straightener to curl some wigs before. I feel like if it's just bangs, a straightener should work just fine, right? I don't know. I guess we'll find out. I feel like I need to make a disclaimer again that if you haven't guessed already, I'm not a hairdresser, and I don't know what I'm doing. I'm not a professional. I've only been cosplaying for a year, so take everything I say and do with a grain of salt. Oh, that didn't do anything at all. This wig is not my fave. Why? It's hot. Yes. Made the beeping sound, that means it's hot, so I don't know why this wig will not cooperate with me. Oh man, I totally missed some pieces back here. Oh well. Sounds like a problem for not right now. There's just a little piece right here. Perfect. Actually, that doesn't look half bad. I'm gonna go ahead and try it on. So that will be the real judge of how well I did that one piece of bang. Ah. So I have like a lot of wig caps because every wig I've ordered has come with at least one. There have been a couple that have come with 2. And I know it may sound ridiculous, but I have a favorite wig cap. Like out of all of the wig caps I have, there is one specifically that I love more than anything. And when I can't find it, I hate wearing the other wig caps, and I just don't want to do anything that involves me wearing a wig without that one wig cap. And I don't know what it is because they're basically all the same. Some are just not stretched out as much as the others. Let's see. Okay. I like where that sits, actually. I think I might want to make it shorter to have it more on my eyebrows. But that's not bad. That's not a bad start. Yeah. I mean, that's good enough for me. I like where it is. Oh. And I unfortunately lost my clip guide. But that's okay, because we have one half of the bangs done, so we can just figure out the other half later. So I'm just going to move on real quick to tell you how to style bangs that have like more anime bangs that have like the point, you know. I'm gonna go ahead and grab. Where did it go? I'm just gonna grab this one. This is a wig I ordered for my Utea cosplay, and I bought it off of Amazon because it was really long. And then I discovered that Arta had an even longer one, so this is just an extra wig that has been sitting in my house doing nothing. So I'm just gonna throw that up there. Get it nice and snug. Okay. So once again, wow, you can't even see it. Kind of blends in with the wig head. That's okay though. Once again, I'm gonna clip all of the long hair out of the way so that I don't accidentally cut it, which still happens sometimes, and that's okay because it's just hair. This is my 5-minute warning, but it's okay because this part is really easy, at least in my opinion. So I'm gonna go ahead and divide out where I want the hair so that I have a nice point. And honestly, this could be my Princess Peach wig now that I think about it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the middle section that I want to be in a point, and I'm just going to take my scissors and I'm going to cut in a downward motion. And I'm going to do that on both sides. Hair everywhere. And I'm going to do that until they both make a somewhat even point. And then two, I'm going to go in and do the straight up and down cutting just to take off some length in certain areas. I think that was a part of my original piece, maybe? Yeah. And with things like this, you sometimes don't need hairspray at all. I know for like, oh, question. Do you have any tips for minimizing mess while shaping wigs? Yes, I do actually. So right now on the floor, I have like the blue like painter's tarp. Sometimes I use that, or I bought this wig stand, and it came with like, those like little barber like capes that they put on you. It came with one of those for some reason. So I use that. I'll put that on the floor, and then I try to put like a little trash can, because this is like angled, so I'll fit like a trash can right in each corner. So like if I'm working on one side of the bangs, I have the trash can positioned directly below that. And I know the hair is not all going to go in there, but again, that's what the painter's tarp is for, so that I can kind of keep it contained so it doesn't get trapped in like carpet or anything. But yeah, that's how I minimize my messes. Also too, if you have pets, don't let them in the house when you're styling wigs, because they will make everything messier. And also, wig hair is not good for animals. It doesn't break down in their system like normal hair would, so it can actually get wrapped around their intestines and other organs. So just be careful when styling wigs if you have pets. But yeah, so that was kind of like a quick job, but you can already see that it's pointed. And all I did was just cut in like in a downward motion, and then if there were like extra pieces that were too long on the sides, just do the straight up and down cutting. But yeah, I'm trying to think like what other tips I think so. I guess I'm just gonna say sorry for the technical difficulties. I hope you learned at least one thing, if not multiple things. If you have any more questions regarding wigs, you can reach out to me on Instagram, and I think even TikTok has a messaging system, and Facebook at BananaCakeCosplay. It's the same, no caps, anything, no extra numbers, no dots or lines, just BananaCakeCosplay on those social media platforms. So if you have any more questions, you can ask there. Thanks for joining. Sorry we had a lot of difficulties, but it was fun. If you want to see me and my partner in crime, she's down there. If you want to see us get ready as Starfire and Raven, catch us at 2 p.m. Yes, 2 p.m. All right. I don't know how much time I have left, but